Hi there. Let's talk about how to use No Nonsense November, day 10. Hustle trumps. Habits trump hustle all day long, all year long, every day of the year, all the years that you build your business. And we're going to talk about that. That's our main topic for today. But we're also covering the IDEANCE process, step 3 today, which is to explore options. So we're going to think about yesterday's area of our desired state, the day before that, what it was that we wanted to change or set a goal in between now and the end of the year. Any area, you can pick any of the 9 life framework areas or anything that you wanted. And we shared our current story and our desired story. And today we're going to think about what are some ways we could possibly start filling the gap between where we are and where we want to be. So we're going to brainstorm at least 10 things, and then we'll talk about the next step of the process tomorrow. But as you go about your day, think about, how might I be able to do this? And then just write it down. No matter how crazy or far-fetched it seems, write it down, because we're going to look at those options and analyze them tomorrow as part of the process. So don't forget our ideas process. Now today, our topic, and I have a lot of experience in this because I swear I ran through my 30s and my 40s until I actually had a sudden cardiac arrest and almost wasn't here anymore. Actually dropped dead, had one of those death experiences, which I really don't talk about that much because it's like everything else. Some experiences are so personal, we don't necessarily need to share the details of them. And frankly, I was in a coma for the whole time. So it was probably one of the least stressful, most chill times I've personally had in my life because I was in a coma. I always look for the upside, right? There's always an upside to everything. So habits, and I want to clearly specify here, I am talking about good habits, positive habits that move you in the direction you want to go with your business, right? We've all had experience with bad habits. Come on. Really, let's be honest about that. I think every human being has at least a couple of quirky, interesting habits that aren't necessarily serving us anymore. It might be something you say. It might be negative self-talk. It might be going out every weekend and getting schnockered, whatever it is for you. Those would not be habits that are actually serving you in the long run. You might be having fun on Friday and Saturday nights, but in the long run, what else could you be doing with that time and energy that you're blowing on, getting a buzz on? I don't know. So I don't care. I'm not opposed to drinking. I just think that if we're using it as an escape and as a way to not actually live our lives, then it's probably not serving us very well. So think of examples in your life, and I like to challenge myself to think about what habit would help me to create the next level of success or business growth. What would that be? And then I think of that habit, or I think of what that is. Then I think of a habit or a process or a system or something that I can create to make that automatic. I do that with different processes in my businesses all the time. If I have to do it more than once, if I have to do it daily, I'm probably going to create a system that makes that an automatic system for the business, or I'm going to delegate it to someone else, depending on what it is and if it really needs my personal undivided attention or not. Because guess what? There are things in our business that we need to do every single day, like show up to set the example for other people. What we do daily defines who we are, what we stand for, how much people can trust us or believe in us or count on us, right? If we're not even showing up to our own business, why would other people? Unless, of course, you've been there long enough, you've created the systems and the processes and the automations, and you've set the direction for the organization and put things in place to continue to monitor and make sure it's moving in the direction that you want it to go. There's lots of billionaires that have a lot of different businesses and they're running by other people. They're not personally paying absolute attention to all the little details that are involved in that. Systems free our mind, at least my mind, to focus on what truly matters, my really personal, highest value activities and tasks, what is most important for me to have my fingers in the pie in, because it isn't everything, right? And the bigger your business gets, the less it is possible for you to be paying attention to everything. I think some of the people that struggle the most with growing and building and supersizing their business are those that can't let go of control and feel like they do everything better than anybody else and that they have to micromanage everything and anything. And why do I say this so outrightly? Because I used to be like that in certain areas and aspects of my businesses. I felt like I had to know everything, lead everything, be involved in everything. And what did that do? it caused me to have a sudden cardiac arrest and drop dead. So I highly recommend that you let go of that strategy. If you need help with that, please ask, because like I said, I've got lots of experience with it, and there's lots of tools and things that can help us do that. We don't have to be the prisoners of our past. We can decide any time, like today, that, hey, this little thing isn't working for me anymore. What do I need to do to take care of that? And I love to say take care of it once and for all, but there are things in our life that we've been doing for so long. We'll take care of it. We'll think we've taken care of it, and then it'll peek in here and there and everywhere, usually when we least expect it. So today, what's our challenge? Our challenge is to pick one small habit that would help you on your next level of business, the next step of supersizing and growing your business, and then commit to doing it every single day between now and the end of this month. So maybe you've never shared the vision of your organization with anybody in your company, and then you decide that, hey, I'm going to share the vision and the purpose and the mission and the principles and the objectives and everything with at least one person every single day in the organization and outside the organization, because just the sharing it, you get better at doing it. And so pretty soon you'll get more excited and enthusiastic, and you'll be sharing it with everybody. That's just one little example. Maybe you do like I did in corporate America and still do today. I catch myself still doing it today. When I'm taking notes on something, or when I'm interacting with somebody and I say I'm going to do something, I write it down. I got to write it down. The older we get, the more stuff is in our subconscious and our mind, and there's more things vying for our attention. So I challenge you to write it down. I will write something down just because I want to remember it and reinforce the learning. But then I'll put a little square box to the left of it. I usually walk around with a notebook or paper, and I'll do it in my notes if I'm in a training or something as well. I put a little checkbox by it, because then I can just skim through my notes, and those are the things that I want to follow up on, and that I'm committing to myself that I'll follow up on and do. And then after I do it, guess what? Just put a little check mark in the checkbox or an X, and that is like a little dopamine reward and a little hit of positivity for actually doing what I say I'm going to do. And if you do that, that's another great habit. If you just do that between now and the end of the month, all of a sudden you become a person that can be counted on to do what they say they're going to do. People know what to expect from you. Extremely powerful in your career, in your relationships, in your business, in your life. I challenge you to maybe try that one. All right. If you need help picking one, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.